KRU is definitely a dangerous team. They can show up hard on any day. All 5 of them are very individually skilled and like they carry a lot of momentum. After each round they win or map, like they get even better and better.
¡Claro que sí! ¡Llegó Belser!
They're one of the few teams that have qualified to every champ every year, so it's definitely a hard team to play.
Contra Sentinels en verdad siento que es un equipo bastante fuerte, fueron el segundo lugar del Kickoff y quizás en la Master no mostraron una buena cara, pero aún así sigue siendo un equipo fuerte y probablemente hayan corregido muchos errores que cometieron, entonces va a ser un muy buen partido.
John Cutie with the 3K in an unstoppable moment!
Me and Adversa are both IGLs coming from Tier 2. He definitely improved the team a lot. Feels like they play more structured, more cohesive, and I feel like they needed a good IGL change, and he's bringing a lot for them.
Yo respeto mucho a John Cutie porque él también viene de donde yo vengo, venimos los dos del Tier 2 y bueno, él obviamente ganó torneos internacionales, también ganó la VCT Americas, entonces para mí va a ser un muy buen matchup, siento que va a ser muy buen partido.
Welcome back to VCT Americas. It's now time for our second match on this beautiful Friday. It's Sentinels going up against KRU Visa. I am Zoe, and on the desk with me are Sean and Ender. Vibes are good.
Oh, the vibes are
high.
so good. So look, this match is going to be fire 100. So
You've got
real,
some moves
right?
there also.
It's fire 100, man.
Oh, fire 100, no cap. Oh,
no.
Did you actually just...
What?
Oh,
what? Oh,
I was just reading what was up there, man.
sorry.
I wasn't saying that.
Sorry.
It's a reactionary stream now. That's all right. I think you pulled it off.
Thank you.
Yeah. I give you like a 28 at max.
Out of
what, 28?
Oh, years old?
Years old. That was an age reference.
That's crazy.
Right. Well, okay. Vibes are still good, so let's bring them down even more. I don't want to beat a dead horse, but I feel like I can get one more kick and punch into this one. Sentinels coming off of a disappointing run in Bangkok.
Yep.
However, they came back in Stage 1, Week 1, in their opening match. And quite frankly, they came out swinging. They looked like they did exactly what they wanted to work on. They adapted.
They really did. Like, all of the players for Sentinels looked amazing against 100 Thieves. It was an incredible sight. It was old school Sentinels coming to life with the new players on the team. And that guy on the screen, Shanzo, Bang had a series, probably his best series since joining Sentinels. This team is riding really high right now.
And the best part is, it's against 100 Thieves, right?
Yes.
Who he just left, so it
Yes.
feels even better. But it's crazy that Sentinels are winning more than half of their 4v5s. Like, how do you actually do that? That's crazy. And of course, the third map where they just completely dunk 100 Thieves, looking good on split again, because that was their best map last year when they were winning Madrid. Then I feel like they fell off a little bit on that towards Kickoff where they made some changes. But the other day, beautiful.
The crazy thing is after that Kickoff thing, and we showed it last week on the broadcast, Second talking to the team and really laying into everyone while in Bangkok, fresh after the loss, and having a leader come up and step up in that moment and do that, have it be heard by the team, and seeing the changes now weeks out later. Wow, I think this Sentinels team is poised to make a run here in this first stage.
And the fact it's Zekin too, like that shocked me, seeing that he was the guy to step up and say those things.
He was the adult in the room. But it was real talk, and I think they needed it. And whatever they did, they turned it around, and it worked. Now, Sentinels, as we said, they will be looking for individuals like Zellsis and Second for another big performance this week. And Riff actually got to catch up with Zellsis before this game today. Let's hear what he had to say.
Yeah, I'm with Zellsis before their match versus KRU today. I got to ask you about Vice. You look so comfortable on this agent. What is it about it that's allowing you to just unlock all of this skill we're seeing?
I think I thrive in chaos on the map, and I think Vice is an agent where you don't really rotate around the map. You're kind of just on a site, and the way VALORANT is you kind of just, you're throwing a bunch of abilities on a site, and Vice is just kind of there like, help me! And I think that's where I thrive, so I think today against KRU, it's going to be kind of chaos versus chaos, and yeah, I'm just very comfortable with Vice.
Awesome. Good luck today.
Thank you.
KRU Chaos versus Chaos. Is that a promise or a threat? I'm not sure.
I think he gives off a silly vibe all the time, but man, this guy's util is just, it's worth its weight in gold for this team. He is always going to deliver and always set his teammates up, and he's actually been putting up some serious frags throughout the entire year so far.
Yeah, his Vise on Pearl, they were talking about that a bit there. He was out of this world on that agent. His side anchoring has been really impressive, and I think also when you fast forwarded to his Viper performance on that final map of Split, like his sights, you couldn't come near if you're 100 Thieves.
I like to think of him as, quite frankly, one of the best mid Vipers we have, like in mid on Split, of course.
Yeah.
Not like the Zoomy mid. the best Viper at defending mid right now in the scene. Like, he is so good at just understanding the scenario, all of the things that could come his way. And it's very difficult. Like, you're going against double duelists a lot of time on Split, and he does a really good job of holding on to that Viper molly and using it at the right time.
I think it's gotten even harder to play mid of Split, whether you're working against like double duelists that are trying to like pinch you or just like burst past your orb before you even get it up, or the Taeho comps as well, where there's like double missiles being dropped in vents a lot too.
He had a Taeho ult with a Sage slow trying to trap him in vents last week. He popped the orb and just like hid.
He ran forward. Yeah, that was the crazy thing. I mean, it was like
crazy.
so cool because so often you'll see players like back away from situations like that, but he knows those windows where he can get in front of the play and punish teams big time.
Yes.
I think what was on display last week so much in those kind of moments was that they adapted to the situations, which was exactly what Second talked about in that real talk afterwards. That like, hey, just because we haven't seen it before, like we can't just like drop the spaghetti and everything. So like it was great to see them adapting that way. But on the other side, we had individuals which were popping off as well. Keznit played that Yoru apparently for the first time, which is actually bonkers to me because he threw out some numbers there.
Yeah.
How does he stack up against the opposition, though? Let's take
I mean,
a look
look,
at
him versus Zekken, this is a matchup as old as time now. I feel like it's always good when these two players face off against each other.
Yeah, Zekken is like NA's Yoru right now. Like,
True.
this guy is just locking Yoru across the board. Keznit's been flexing all over the place, right? We've even seen him play Jet on Split. So he's doing all kind of crazy stuff this year, and he's having a lot of success, as per usual. I think KRU is shockingly good right now. I love what they're doing, bringing Adverso into the team. The dual IGL system again with Melser right behind him. But can he defeat this guy on the screen right here? This is Zekken's Yoru highlight festival.
It is cool though how the two players have their pocket picks, because Keznit plays Jet on multiple maps versus the Yoru on the other side. You still have Keznit that's always playing like that lurk style of Jet too. Maybe not as much as he did in the past, but you saw that even come into play in these slower rounds of Split where he was on the Jet.
Indeed, and both teams will be probably rocking like a breach Taeho throughout a lot of this series. John, one of the better Taehos actually in our region as well. He picked it up really quickly.
He did indeed. Well, I'm very excited for this one to see what they have in store for us. Maybe some new looks, or maybe they're running back. Who knows? But first, let's hear what Keznit had to say to Riv before taking to the stage today.
I'm with KRU Visa's Keznit before their match versus Sentinels today. Talk to me about the mentality, that fracture map. What was the goal to coming back after that game?
Yo creo que lo que hablamos fue sacar la cantidad de rondas posibles para hacerle daño en el siguiente mapa y nada, creo que algo que salió bastante bien.
I think what we talked about was to get the most amount of rounds that we could in the map 1 to start strong on the second map, and I think it went well.
All right, and hopefully we get to see more today. Tell me about Yoru. How much fun are you having on Yoru?
Es un personaje que me gusta mucho, obviamente lo he venido practicando mucho en Ranked y hoy día también lo verán, así que es sorpresitas.
Obviously, it's an agent that I like a lot and an agent that I've been playing in Ranked a lot, so you're going to see it today, and there's little surprises coming.
All right, sounds good. I can't wait to see that. Good luck.
Ooh. Surprises.
Please, Waylay.
Surprises.
Please, Waylay. You wouldn't.
We'll see.
Waylay would go crazy.
That's crazy because like. I don't know. I can't imagine him walking in the Waylay over the Jet. He's just so synonymous with the agent.
I want to see it so bad.
You do.
He's so wild with some of these duels. He makes plays. This guy's a playmaker. Watching him on Waylay was so fun.
I mean, you know, know, they can always just, if it doesn't work out, like roll it back on the next map, because that's certainly what they did last week. They took us on an emotional roller coaster.
Oh, we don't talk about that
I'm
one.
talking about what happened last week, okay? Because I had sleepless nights after that one. I'm not about those kind of performances where first they get stomped on their own map pick, winning all but just 3 rounds is the only thing they got, and then they return the favor on Loud's map pick, giving them just 2, and then suddenly in the third map it looks like evenly matched. Like, what is happening?
I don't know. Well, I'm going to be honest. I don't think Keznit would argue with me on this. He looked completely useless on map 1.
Yes.
Like, he could not win a fight to save his life, and then he becomes the best player in the known universe for maps 2 and 3 on the Yoru and the Jet. Like, okay.
Everyone saw it coming. I mean, right? But it was shocking to see KRU pick Fracture. No, if you watch KRU historically, it's not really a map that they would pick very often in the past. I was shocked they actually went away from like Icebox, Ascent, some of the newer maps that they typically loved in the past.
All the Jet maps.
It was a fresh look, truthfully. I like that they took that shot. They look very flat, though, on the map, and I don't think that was the best they have to offer there. I'm still confident. I mean, if they pick that map, that means that their prac has to be going pretty well.
All right. Well, you have a few examples that you wanted to show and break down for us, so please go ahead and educate.
You guys want to join the crew? Or what? Okay. So this is actually, I'm going to go over 2 of their hits right now on split, and they innovate a lot on their split. They're very pouncy. So off of the bat, I'm going to show right now, you can see this TP coming out from the Omen. It's going to be right behind this Viper wall. Meanwhile, the Breach is going to be fault lining up. The Breach will be fault lining up into Heaven. So the Omen TPing behind the wall, and the Viper is orbing Heaven. This is all quite unique when you watch a lot of these teams play right now. The Omen TPing up allows the Omen to dive with this Jet, who gets slight vision over this wall into the A site. They then put a lot of pressure on A Heaven with the missiles, which I just barely missed right there. You can see them in Heaven right here. So all of Heaven is completely knocked away. The wall is immediately popped by Shy, and these 2 are occupying that ground. So if we fast forward up through this point now, you can see
other way
going. They clear out Heaven, and that draws the rotate from the mid Viper into A Heaven. That forces these A players to respect the Heaven hit, and that's when the Breach ult hits the site. They pounce on the site, and the spacing is so good. I'm going to actually draw attention to this Omen flash, which is about to cut through into Heaven. You can see it's timed perfectly with the plant from the Teo. And while this is going down, Shy is already pushing towards screens for a screen ult. This is a quad ult round, so you would expect KRU to win this. It's just how organized they are throughout it. They immediately set up into a Breach Teo combo where Teo's planning on using the ult on main right here. You can only imagine how that would go if you were exiting through this main. A Breach stun from in the site cuts through as a Teo ult pushes you forward. And that's something that you're going to see a lot watching Teo, is the ult will push you into the fight, not away. So playing it now, you can see they're setting up the Breach flash just to kind of hold them off, hold them ground, and they're just waiting. They're just waiting for all of this to transpire. The second the missiles come in, boom, and Loud is already in a save situation. In a 5-on-5, they have forced Loud into a save. So let's go now into their B play. So their B play is equally as good in my eyes. This is what shut Loud out of the map completely, and I'll draw attention to a lot of these small details right here. So they send Keznit into mid, and I mentioned it before. This Viper, this will be Zellsis in the game, and the Jet's goal is just to get spotted, draw attention, and you have a free shot with this Outlaw. The Jet will then reposition back into B, give the Outlaw over to the Teo, and the Teo will drone through mid. This is super common if you watch Americas, the drone cutting through the opposite side of the hit. It forces someone in mid to defend mid and likely ask for a rotate, thus freeing up the B hit. So you can see after the drone, the Teo comes back to B, the fault line cuts through, and these salvos are perfect. There's one in Heaven that forces this player to leap out, and then this one backside forces Pankata right into this spot backside. So Adverso is having immense impact right here with his util. Again, the discipline right now. Mizzino, who has the spike, drops it over to Shy. Despite both of them being one orb off of ult, they know that this Viper Pit secures the round, and they pass it over to Shy. Shy has an orb lineup from back wall into heaven. It's literally just cinema. I'm not gonna lie, everything KRU does is perfect. Mizzino takes contact in the pit ahead of the Viper to protect the Viper. The Jet is protecting the other side. These two in B main playing their lives. And you can see they're actually coordinating in a couple seconds to swing out this far side of the pit with the main players. They are being so proactive with ideas throughout this entire round. And this is how they shut Loud out and ended up winning the series. I don't know how SEN are gonna stop this type of behavior on Split, but I think it starts and ends with Zellsis. So that's why I'm drawing a lot of attention to this guy right now.
Love to see the breakdown there. Yeah, of course, they came into this with some great game plans, great executions, and when everything fell apart, they still had Shy to somehow save the day for them as well.
Yeah, the Shy factor is immense too, and it's not just, yeah, okay, can anchor Shy, can do whatever as well, but there were so many late round situations, I think, where Shy was sort of saving and pulling rounds back for KRU.
Yeah, Shy is just an outstanding closer. I think when I watch Shy play, one of his best qualities are these isolated fights. Dear God, if you peek into Shy and he's in these like 2-bullet scenarios in the open, you are done so. You are actually cooked. And I think him in combination with Adverso's strat that he's brought to the team, man, KRU are flying right now.
Seriously, and I seriously think that like it's these moments, these late round moments, that make or break your Viper or your Sentinel players, right? Because you're the guys that are always alive deep into a round. So when you have a player like Shy, they can be so clutch in those types of moments. Like you've got this like insurance policy in basically every single round you play that it can almost always flip back in your favor.
Yeah, and what's so cool about Shy this year compared to past ones is this team is innovating, right? We saw him bust out the Vice really early on that Bind map. The Vice Viper on Bind
that was gnarly.
It was crazy. They were the first team I saw do it, and we're now seeing a lot of this out of Keznit with the Yoru, and we're seeing tricks maybe up his sleeve. I don't know if he's going to bust out Waylay, but I have to give a lot of credit to someone like Adverso coming into the team and bringing that mindset.
I want to highlight another player here, right in the middle, Adverso, joining the team this very year at their IGL, and I think he's done a lot of good work for them.
Yeah, and this guy, he's been in the Tier 2 scene for a long time, right? Been in IGL before, but see him come up onto the stage when there's a guy like Shy, right, sitting there right next to you, and he's the one you're handing the reins to. Like, he's been really, really fun to watch, both because of how skilled he is, I think, leading this team, but also just as an individual player.
Yeah, and I've been a huge KRU fanboy since that LCQ run with Klaus and Melster at the helm, and they had this dual IGL system that they lost last year when they brought Heat in, and they still looked very good with Heat, but it was a totally different identity. I was very apprehensive when they brought Adverso, and I didn't think they would have enough skill to hang in this Teo Breach meta right now that's very punchy. It's very aggressive. I was proven wrong quickly. I'm like back on the KRU train right now.
Okay, but now that we glazed them and we gassed them up, let's take a look at our predictions for this one.
Okay. Well,
because I have it on good authority that you just can't trust what they're saying here.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing: is last week a few of the analysts, myself included, may or may not have predicted against Sentinels in their 100 Thieves game, even though Sentinels have basically always beat 100 Thieves. And Rob Moore came for us on Twitter. Like he popped off. He had the receipts. He was like, "What are you guys doing?" So I think everyone's just scared to vote against Sentinels. I've
done nothing last week.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
He literally made Code Nade Shot a discount on it. I'm not saying anything bad about Sentinels. Buy the bundle, do whatever you want.
Buy the bundle, they're winning Toronto.
Looking really good though. That's good, Rob, right?
Yeah.
Okay, but like those predictions are not indicative for how close this game could be.
No, it's actually super close. All trolls aside, I think KRU is a very punchy team that's super aggressive and willing to fight with Sentinels and brawl. And that's honestly Sentinels' domain. This is going to be a banger.
Yeah, proof is in the pudding. Let's get our teams onto the stage for the last match of the day. It's Sentinels and KRU Visa. they come. Sentinels, forever a fan favorite, and for good reason. They bring the personality, the clutch factor, the firepower,
And Qbert.
And that too. Sure, they have it all. Now on the other side, KRU Visa, of course, that's a team that is eyeing their first Masters appearance in 3 years. But do they have what it takes to take down Sentinels, who are coming into this hungry after their Masters Bangkok performance? I'm sure they want to run it back.
Yeah, I mean, especially after, you know, taking that win down against 100 Thieves, crushing in map number 3. This team definitely needs a strong bounce back and to keep it running, because I feel like KRU is going to be some of their strongest competition, right? You win here today, you're setting yourself up beautifully for making it deep into the postseason.
I couldn't agree more. And the key question here is, where are we ending up map-wise? I think the reason why I stuck to split there is both these teams historically love this map.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like there's a high likelihood this map will be in the series at some point. I don't know if either team is willing to pick it against the other one, though, given the successes of their opponent.
Is there a map do you feel either team should avoid at all costs?
Ooh, I don't think Sentinels should play Icebox.
Yeah, that's fair.
Historically, I haven't really liked them there that much.
I think Adam as well in an interview was saying that they don't really feel like they have a permaban necessarily, so it's a little bit more targeted to the opponent they're playing. That's obviously a little bit difficult too when you haven't seen a team play a whole lot in the last few months to know what their tendencies are going to be, but surprise, surprise, we're starting on Lotus, folks.
The NA teams do love picking Lotus to kick off these series.
I mean, that's the map they won most recently, but they gotta be feeling very confident heading into Lotus.
I alluded to it before the last series. These NA teams pick this map a lot in Americas, and ultimately, it forces you to start in defense. No one's going to want to start on defense on your map choice of Lotus. Besides, they're going to start attack. So you are up against it right now as Sentinels. And if you start cold, you're in these 3-on-1s as KRU is entering site.
Oh, here's the icebox you wanted to avoid.
Wait, it's SEN going to Icebox, though. Oh, wait, no, I'm trolling. I was looking at the underneath part. I'm fake news.
Man,
okay.
I've seen Keznit do some filthy stuff on Icebox.
Yes. Yo, the classic, like, oh, insert him over on yellow on attack on the jet and let him lurk into the B site while the team is, like, faking execs towards the A site. They've got plenty of strats from way back in the day.
And of course, we do have Split as our decider, so both teams will be happy to go all the way.
Holy, I think we might get 3 maps right here, guys. This is going to be amazing. And do we see Zekken branch off out of Yoru here on Icebox, or do they stick to it?
Yeah, that's the crazy thing, right? Because we've seen a little bit of the Yoru Icebox, but we're expecting to see a lot more of like the Jet, even way late potentially on that map as being very powerful picks.
Nothing new there.
Zellsis Vise, trust me, it's good.
Zellsis locking down likely C site quite a bit with John on that Viper. Such a brutal combo to go up against. Keznit Yoru again, let's go.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of this. The ability to flex between different sides. Yeah, he'll just fight and shoot Zekken. It's a good matchup.
It is a good matchup indeed. We're all set for the first round of this series, which we hope to be a banger. And we have 2 of the best in business on the mic. It's Uber and Wyatt.
Thank you very much, Zoe. Yes, KRU Visa taking to the stage. Generally a competitive team in Kickoff, but the last time they won against Sentinels, it was Champs 2021. Since then, they have not won a singular map against Sen City.
Which is wild to think about. Even the other day, their coach Adam on the LATAM broadcast saying that the only 2 teams he's never beat in America is G2 and Sen, and he wants to win this badly. We're kicking things off on Lotus, which KRU didn't even play in Kickoff at all. Matter of fact, 5 of the 7 wins on maps that KRU had in Kickoff came on Bind and Abyss. 2 maps that are out of the pool. So they're really going to have to invent themselves on some of these other maps in order to beat a team as quality as Sen.
Here we go, folks. Lotus kicks off for Sen, starting on this defense side. We'll get you a view of the situation momentarily. KRU, importantly, have emerged out towards the rubble side here, inching their way towards A.
Slowly able to cross as it's relatively passive from Sen. They have that Vice over towards C. A lot of hype going Zellsis away from the desk, and definitely justifiably so. He has been fantastic on that agent.
All right, door looking a little bit like the entrance to the Ritz-Carlton at the moment, constantly being toggled. And in we go. KRU looking to set up on tree, and it's a really light hold on this side of the map for Sentinels. Much of that Vice util over towards C here. It's going to be Bang and Narrate who'd get busy.
Full Execute comes in. That utility from the Breach and Tejo that can be recycled later on for when the retake comes in. Already in drop one.
Oh, Keznit has to make the adjustments. He's able to win it out. Bang falls pretty darn quickly, and Narrate doesn't have much to do until those reinforcements get there. Mizzino takes a glancing blow, and Keznit is a little bit low. Prowler goes over the top there, and Nelson's already ascended. John and Zekken get involved. Shy with a respectful distance there, and Keznit now reveals himself. Surely traded. John's finding himself 3, and Zellsis will clean it up. SEN allow KRU to come into that A site and have the retake util with the fade when needed.
KRU really tried to take the fight to them there in heaven. And SEN were all grouped up for pushing through there. Easy for them to find those kills as a unit, swinging for each other. And perhaps regretting not. Oh my god, what a shot. That one though, John Cutie connecting multiple kills early into this game.
And this is probably going to be a trend that we see exhibited by KRU over this series. They really want to fight. They really want to force the issue and take contact when they can. SEN, if they're aware of this, are going to try and exploit that.
Again, Zellsis over on this C site. He has been a brick wall over here, just jiggling for that early info. Keznit, the one player over on KRU that has any semblance of an upgrade with the Sheriff in his hands.
Okay, crash noted. Crossing by as Keznit will take that orb. Looks like priority towards a dimensional drift here for KRU early, orb-wise. And that C push is going to be smoked out.
And this is a very good setup for SEN if the C hit does come in. You just have Zellsis baiting for John Cutie in the corner with the Judge, who'll be able to clean up all of those attacking KRU players with ease as they opt to slow things down in the mid-round. KRU explore elsewhere.
Bang has not pushed up on that A side here. It's actually a pretty passive line he's holding towards Rubble, and this is going to serve him well here because he should get early warning of this switch back. Yeah, he hears it, flashed out briefly. In comes the guided salvo, and Bang can obviously just TP across into the smoke.
And this is all just a re-clear from KRU over towards A to try and feign that presence to go back elsewhere. It looked like they wanted to get in towards C, but again, they can't. Now running back towards A, where so it's been relatively uncontested after getting his way into Rubble. So a mid-round pivot from the KRU side.
Zekken's definitely been tipped off that something could be afoot on this side of the map. There it is. Shy walks out of the open. Zekken deals with him pretty comfortably. However, KRU get in onto this A site once more. Bang was in a similar position in the pistol. Dropped down. Got taken down by Keznit, but SEN were able to win it out and see how this rolls through. The Bulldog barks and bites, apparently. Adverso a screaming heap, and it's up to Melsa with nothing but the classic to work with. And it is a fully fledged, full force SEN team to end the round.
They'll be more than happy to get that very clean anti-eco. It required them to offer up the site, a little bit of an economic benefit to KRU getting that spike down for a second round in a row, but ultimately, who's the real beneficiary of the situation? It's SEN, retaining all 5 of their weapons into the next. I wonder even if they're going to opt to play that similar setup towards C, where John was tucked in the corner with his shotgun and didn't get sniffed out. Maybe they'll try to set it up, or a round where they could opt to go for more of an aggro play, set something up with Zekken, getting it deep on the raise with your Breach.
It was anti-eco protocols last round, but SEN are not pushing up out of B main. They're not pushing up over towards A either. They're sitting back and holding pretty passive positions. So it's going to get messy now. The fault line comes in. The cross is there for Melsa, but the C's nade combination does chunk him down. Zekken gets off the line. Bang is going to be playing inside this smoke and thinks twice about it. TP away behind the screen of that Viper wall. SEN can set up behind this now.
They're trying to retreat out of there as KRU gain the space after a big exchange of utility. You had John over towards C. He's rotating into spawn, and Shy is so concerned about potential flanks at this point. You know, and indeed, SEN, they are trying to prod on defense. They're trying to throw something unorthodox at KRU to win this bonus round to convert.
This feels like a carbon copy of a previous round.
Just funneled into A. Bang is in heaven. Time to play for retake yet again.
The difference is, though, Zekken hasn't caught anybody on the cross, so no free kills early in this round here for Sentinels, and nobody's in drop yet. That's now been confirmed. SEN really holding back off the A site for now.
And there's definitely some danger from KRU on account of the fact that a couple of their players are on wicked low HP. You know, these SMGs could get easy kills here, and Mizzino there, he goes down, he was low.
And that's just across the site there. Bang finds a tight angle, but the Razorvine is going to slow this up a little bit for Sentinels. Meanwhile, Zellsis is on the wrap here. Going to be a push towards top and a trade. I think Sen are going to be happy with that, but Shy's going to be a problem there in drop. He's found his second. Zellsis is going to be there, but he's got nothing but a stinger to work with. And really, has no business doing much more in this round. Play for exits perhaps, but KRU maintain 3 guns coming out of this round in theory. Certainly getting what they came for.
Well, Zellsis will have an opportunity at a fight, but not at the range he's desiring. Shy able to shut down the final player after converting multiple when Sen were trying to swing through heaven together as a unit. I like that first opening where you had one player jump around the corner, obscure that crosshair placement so the next could get around, but jumping that far forward, you are in the waiting arms of Shy, who is playing down low. So well done from KRU, finally able to convert on one of these A post plants, but you have to wonder how much of that just comes down to the fact that they had a significantly better buy this time.
Exactly. I mean, and the fact that Shy can also put a Razorvine so far forward and upper and play off that to bleed the clock.
Again, we're heading into this fast A brawl, exchange of utility.
Again!
And again gets the name! Meltzer goes down to it.
This time Banks, he's even further forward. He might have a timing here, and yes, Keznit goes down. Mizino at least able to find that aftershock here, and the numbers are even after a frenetic opener. John doesn't bite off more than he can chew here. Mizino is allowed to slip away.
And in the meantime, Shy was just playing in spawn, waiting out any potential flanking players that could come down from Sen. Certainly something you have to expect when you're on attack, and you're favoring one side of the map, that the defenders could try to exploit that by prodding one of the other areas. And now they can just take their time over towards Mound. They're going to have to eventually proc this wall from Zellsis. Give away their location.
And a decent hedge from young Jordan Belfort here, as he'll now be aware, of course, that KRU have walked in and they take some damage off that Razorvine. Nothing to write home about, but still could be crucial. And they're going to group up here. Yep, play from the Mound direction now. The door's going to go open.
Utility certainly does favor KRU, though, having the breach alive, having that stun from Mizino cycled back up.
Shy's out of util, essentially, though.
This is a great reposition. I really like this from KRU. They even have the archers to play off of, and on a spike tap, the Mizino can just send out this fall line. They can swing off it together. This is really good for them.
It's a big moment here now. Fault line comes through. Neither Sen player affected by it as John wants to push up past this now. There's the flash coming out. John needs to find 2, and it won't be enough. KRU back to back. Get themselves 2.
That is the exact situation that you want a player like Shy, and he is really fantastic in the late rounds, in those 2v2s post-plant, 3v3s post-plant, and when it comes down to the 1v1, he comes up the majority of the time. That is when he is a force. Despite Meltzer, I think, recklessly dying to the exact util combo he almost died to not 2 minutes ago, just sends it again.
And he's TPing forward into that spot there, so that Seas comes down in the same spot. But again, both these teams happen to throw down early on in the round. That fight for rubble, I think, is going to be an evolving tale over the course of this map. That was a close one.
Already we're into this early timeout call from Sentinels as they've won the pistol, and now things have gotten out of hand. KRU's economy building, getting very close to having a full circuit of ultimates when we get back into this. And send force down onto the eco, so you have Coach Kaplan in the mix trying to get a little strat here, something to throw out, something cheeky while they've just got the sheriffs, whatever upgraded pistols they can get, but then focus on that next crucial buy round where they're going to have the economy on the line and their ultimates to play with. So that round 7, when we get to it, is going to be massively important, or 6 rather.
One of the biggest issues for Sentinels, they said, coming out of Bangkok was when they're confronted by something unexpected, they freeze up and don't have that adaptation. That's something that Zekken said in that moment after they were eliminated.
Yeah, that very
a team like KRU is going to test them.
Speech that Zekken had to his team.
I mean, I expect to see that in this game. KRU are going to throw you those curveballs repeatedly.
I mean, especially considering they've never played Lotus in 2025. Sen don't know what to expect here. They don't know what comp they're going to run. And you've got Keznit on Yoru.
And you've got Icebox next.
Absolutely. It took 139 matches for Keznit to finally play Yoru. And he's doing it again this week, too. He looked fantastic.
We stand a consistent king.
I'm excited to see more from him on this agent that has been so relevant in the meta.
Look, a big ult round here for KRU. Dimensional Drift. Rolling Thunder at the ready now for KRU. Zekken does have that showstopper to work with here, but more of a re-clear option should be needed. A bit of a pistol round here, though, for Sen.
Yeah, and they're saying, I think these guys like the A site. What if we just play with 3 players in this site right now and try to stack this up a little bit? Dimensional drift.
Big Brother's watching.
Yeah, get that valuable info.
Oh, wait a minute. Rolling Thunder comes out. Tekken actually pulls the showstopper here. And perhaps because of that, Keznit opts not to commit to follow up on the breach stun. So Zekken now wants to clear a bit more space and into tree. Takes a trade. Hey, with the Sheriff, he's got to be happy with the 1-for-1.
Yeah, I mean, if Mazzino's going to be happy he even got that kill in the first place with Zekken just zooming around the corner. That had to be a fast reaction. KRU trying to force this into A still. There are 3 SEN players here and another on the way.
Playing close, they've still got a lot of this fade util to play off of as well. Here's the swing, flash comes in, narrate falls, bang's gonna be good for 1, and this is dangerous, KRU! You do not want to test the SEN when they're embedded in a site like this. But there's no time to pull out. 20 seconds left in the round. KRU are fully committed. In for a penny, in for a pound. And Melton needs to make an opportunity happen here, but he's low! Chunked to pieces by the Sheriffs, and Keznit has to bail his team out of this unenviable situation. Healthy as he is, the smoke dissipates and Zellsis will fall. Bang and John had to put this together, and that is a crucial misstep, and it's written all over Keznit's face.
Sheriff shots connected from SEN backside off the gamble stack that doesn't even feel like much of a risk if I'm being totally honest. Kaplan just telling the team out of the timeout, go stack over towards that A side. KRU, they cannot resist the temptation to get the spike down
It's not
there.
just conditioning from KRU, it's just an obsession with that A side apparently.
To the extent that they commit the rolling thunder to it, but no one is even in position to scale into the site off the back of it, and then it's second showstopper that keeps them at bay, causes more time for the rest of the team to rotate there, stack it up again. I mean, KRU just forcing that situation way too hard. Mistake exploited by SEN.
I mean, yeah, think about the value of that showstopper, really. Stops the push in after the Rolling Thunder, and you get a trade on a pistol round. It's pretty decent.
Second picks up the Outlaw here on account of everybody on KRU being on those light armors, and buddy makes use of it quick.
Young Zellsis is on the Daka. We have the Odin in the game. He's not going to get much action this round. It was finally KRU have extricated themselves from the clutches of this compulsion to go to the A side of the map. Not committed yet with only 3 players to work with. KRU trying to tease something out of this C site. We've seen KRU get a little antsy when they're starved of information. They always want to fight for it. They're just not well equipped in order to do so here.
At the very least, so he was able to recover 1 orb over towards Mound, so you know, eventually, no matter what happens this round, he'll have the Armageddon in the future when they get to the next buy. Tiny consolation for KRU as they hope to get into this C site where SEN have the read. They are stacked up. Paranoia ready to go off sound cues from KRU. This should be an easy cleanup.
Yeah, Bang is virtually vibrating with anticipation here. They come here with the Paranoia. It's devastating. And Bang is ready for Melton to take that high ground.
Swatted down by one of the most elite site anchors in the game. You can always trust Bang on defense. He is always good for a couple when you hit his site or when you're trying to take a part of the map where he is stood.
Again, he is not pressed whatsoever. The Paranoia is perfect.
Toss speak on water.
Send City.
All right. Now, on the full buy, ultimates in hand. I don't want to control. Let's see.
I mean, he's brimming with confidence. I can't blame him. Play off the one-way, but has to TP once the guided salvo comes in. At 11-3. Proud as a peacock up on that C site. Daring KRU to test him, and they will.
John has been over towards this C site all game, which has resulted in him not getting a whole lot of action. A little bit on the retakes, but obviously it's been KRU favoring over towards A. And I love this setup from SEN. They're just able to stack one side of the map. Oh, cool, you don't want to come into the stack? Enjoy going into the Vice elsewhere.
They don't know about the Odin.
We haven't really seen this Zellsis tested too much. His site hasn't been getting hit. But when we've seen him on Lotus prior playing this Vice,
Narrate.
On D.
We need a haunt off Narrate here for Zellsis to play off. Door going to be open. Keznit actually wants to challenge this, so Zellsis is going to be forced back here. Cavalry's arrived though for SEN. John inserts into this A site, and Bang, he's really feeling himself here.
And that is the beauty of the Vice. The delay you get from the Razor Vines allows for timing to rotate, but Bang That flank exploited.
We're going to bounce to B here. KRU immediately change of tact here, and Sen realize it, but they're about half a second behind.
Yeah, that's an excellent mid-round call from Adverso, trying to get into the site. Aftershock to force Second back, not allow a flood.
Narrate needs to wait for this. The timing couldn't be good. Spacing going to be crucial here. Mazzino's really struggled with some of these raise nades coming in. Mel's a raid a couple in this first couple of rounds too. Okay, here comes that annihilation here. Well, Armageddon, excuse me, but there's Zekken from up on high. They're going to take the one at least. Keznit wants to push up, and Array gets into the game now. 3 versus 3. How do you get value out of this Odin here for Zellsis? Hold M1 for the boys, maybe. Steel Garden got to be popped. That, of course, is from Shy. And there it is. Zellsis has found Adverso. Happy to hold that line. Narrate with a shorty as well. Oh, that hurts. That stings. Shy down to 52, but Zellsis has a lot of work to do now, and he will be surrounded. Tough pill to swallow for Sentinels. KRU get a crucial round back.
Oh, painful for Narrate. Trying to take that fight with the shorty. Had the ideal weapon for when you're getting hit by the Steel Garden. That is tough, but that is also a SEN losing a round to KRU, who throw everything they've got into this win. And necessary that they do that with the state of the economy. They needed that win desperately.
And Sentinels already getting themselves those 4 defense-sided rounds. It's a pretty comfortable spot to be in, sort of so early here on Lotus.
Oh yeah, you're always worried that the attack team can just snowball so hard on Lotus. They've been keeping a tight lid on KRU's economy, forcing them onto very awkward ecos, stopping any of that momentum to build. But good first blood from Keznit.
Apparently through smoke entirely, as Zekken was just perched in that corner on the orb. Okay, like a re-clear here of A, but KRU playing pretty compact here. And now we have the Viper spit over towards the C side, maybe rendering that as a non-option.
Wow, they want to fight close with this paranoia. What is this from Bang?
Yeah, oh, it's madness. He's going for it. He's pushing this. Are you kidding me? That's 2 consecutive rounds of Bang, maybe overheating just a bit after a great start here. Where's the recovery going to be for Sentinels? It might be too much to ask here as Narrate burns down to the Aftershock, and Mazzino's classic deals with Zellsis. It's up to John in a 1 versus, checks notes, 5.
It didn't even matter that Zellsis took the primary weapons out of KRU's hands. They were just up in the numbers. The utility from them was excellent. John gets 1, but ultimately should just be a consolation kill.
John trying to see what he can get here. This will be KRU looking to even up the game. Silver lining? Sen in a position, obviously, to still buy up in that next round, look competitive. John obviously hoping to do some economic damage because KRU's money is far from stable. It's a little here and there. Getting another gun in this round, I think, would serve John well. He himself is pretty flush. And I think, honestly, we're going to start looking a little bit closer at what Bang is doing. Is he pushing up on these lurks? He's looked incredible in these multi-kill scenarios, but he's maybe just overstepped in the last couple of rounds.
I liked the idea from Sen there after they initially lost Zekken. John pops that Viper's Pit over on C, essentially saying, it's going to be a challenge if you're hitting this site. And then Sen stacked 3 players up towards A here, but this, frankly, was just messy. Bang playing forward alone, taking that fight alone, while the rest of the team are being forced back by this util, overwhelmed. You had the dimensional drift from Keznit spotting everyone out. That was fantastic from KRU. And there were a couple mistakes there from Sen that they're going to wish they had played in a more clean fashion, as they had been exploited to the max.
Tight game now. Sentinel still able to buy it properly. Keznit wants to push out. There's actually no smoke here towards Rubble this time. No attempt to tap in the orb from Sentinels. They've gone back to this, well, a little more backseat approach to defense on Lotus this round.
Who are certainly making their presence known over towards A, to say the least.
Now, can they follow up on a Rolling Thunder if necessary? Because last time, there was a showstopper that made it very difficult for KRU to play off that.
Keznit trades the clone for the wall activation to deny some passive info gain from Sentinels, who are just throwing pieces of util one after another to get info. Rolling Thunder to get in, but no one from KRU can actually make that effort. They want to go into B anyhow, just a pivot to a site that they hope is free.
So it's part of the sale. KRU get themselves into this B side, make no mistake. Narrate pretty close here to oh my god, that was pretty scary.
Real? What? Is that a real thing?
No, he was pinged out, of course. All right, able to see him. Here comes Second, has to go and take the fight, but where's the follow-up? Narrate is there for 1. Bang caught inside the Razorvine, and that wall's going to come down sooner rather than later. He would be exposed in that case, and Mazzino was tucked in the perfect spot. Bang can't see the wood for the trees, is shy. We'll end the round.
I love these pivots from A to B in the middle portion of this half from KRU after, if we go back, starting the half just slamming their heads into the wall of
We're watching
A
evolution in real time.
Really are.
They become upright, you know?
They've discovered that they can make Sentinels think that they'll be running into A again. But actually, we're just going to go through the baby door, go to B, and then have this fantastic post-plant setup. Mazzino on this late lurk. We have presence in main.
I mean, two committer Rolling Thunder in order to sell that fake is pretty substantial investment. So I've got to feel good that they're able to have a really clean post-plant scenario there. And now for Sentinels,
another timeout.
Yep. Coach Kaplan here needs to get in their ears once more. God, I feel for Qubit. Somebody help him. He's looking extremely matter-of-fact here. And again, this is acceptable, I feel like, for Sentinels. I mean, Kaplan's not going to be saying that, but a good start to this game off sort of winning the pistol, getting those 4 rounds, but we need something. This next buy for them has to be big. They've got the Nightfall available now, of course, and Showstopper's not far away. I think it's 2 orbs off, so defensively, you can look to try and make a play with those, or even to shut down some of these fast hits with the dissuasion of having a Showstopper at all.
Last time Kaplan called a timeout, Sen immediately won the next round. It was an eco, it was a simple gamble stack that didn't feel like much of a gamble. They just all over on that A side.
A Coach Ryota timeout, if you will.
That is a...
That's a game changer.
That is a... There's some small portion of the audience that loved that one. That is some deep lore. All right, this time though, KRU, who have been favoring opening towards that A side and finding success there, they're going to take things slow towards C.
Okay, so this time we actually have, you know, Zellsis over at that C side as opposed to being solo A. Again, looking at the weaponry, I think is probably why Zekin buys down, at least he's able to get a Vandal in hand. John also. Because Zellsis playing forwards here, it's going to be a clone that crosses by him. He's fortunate not to take any sort of incidental spray damage there. KRU far from settled, and Bang again has not really moved past that rubble point.
Now, the only time a Sen player on defense really pushed to the point that they were in the attacker spawn, they immediately just got killed by Shy.
It was Bang. And it was Bang pushing off C.
They do not want to relive that miserable experience.
Zellsis, this is uncomfortable. Oh, what? Okay, apparently Zellsis gets away with that. Must have been a dark cover in his way. Gets away from the Razorvine. Flash comes in, Zellsis hears this. Has the Stinger, pretty well suited for this kind of range as Paranoia comes in. He doesn't care, he knows approximately where Adverso is. Surely not another 50, surely not another one here for Sentinels. Melsa gunned down and Shy try as he might. Oh, KRU have just sacked another round here. Thrown it into the crater of Krakatoa and Sentinels get to 5.
I'm stunned. I need to see on the replay. What was that? Any eyeball havers who want to look in the direction of Zellsis?
Anybody with ocular nerves, perhaps?
What was happening in main? I would love to know.
Okay,
he's fully paranoid. He pops the fight. He's just out in the open. These guys are not blind. I don't think they're blinded. They're just looking, man. I guess they just assume it's impossible for him to be over there. Like, he wouldn't go into the... okay, that is bizarre.
Like, who in their right mind will be standing inside the Razorvine?
2 Kaplan timeouts, both resulting in an immediate eco round win. Yep. We'll take it.
Didn't even have to douse his players in Saratoga water, which is impressive. They're really hustling out there.
They're going back to the well. It's time to go towards A. They've had enough of the C site.
Okay, Zellsis here sits pretty shoulder peak, yields a pretty decent amount of information.
And gives some fair info to KRU as well, who know that if they hit this site, they're going to be running into the Vice setup. They know they're going to have this diagonal wall to contend with, flash over entry, the standard Zellsis stuff over here.
Fake teleport.
Okay, KRU again, biding their time. It's going to be Keznit at the 4, unsurprisingly. Aftershock sort of confirms that no one is tucked in this corner, so Keznit will continue to look to take liberties. There's a sheer wall ahead of him. This is all going to bleed clock. It's going to have to be a play through tree in second. He's just found the timing. Finger on the pulse. Keznit without one now. And here comes that Nightfall. Information galore now for Sentinels to make informed decisions about the setup. No plant yet, of course, and 26 seconds left in the round. Time is getting thin for KRU. The wicked's burning. And where do they go from here? It's awkward. Try and pull their way out, but how do they get to another side? Zellsis is hot on their heels. He does not want to let him get away with this. Spikes over towards Rubble. Shy finds the one. With 10 seconds left, there's not much more to do except for Sen to try and wrest these guns away.
KRU have just found virtually no success on these big site executes. Sen have been lights out on defense, playing around the win con of this comp, which is to stack up one side of the map, let your Vice delay on the other, and that delay will allow you enough time to rotate that death ball of players over, all fight together, stop the hit for coming in all together. This really has been lovely play from them.
But this is the question. What do KRU do when they're starved of information? It's a question I want to roll over onto their defense side as well. They just can't find any edges there. Sen, don't give them anything for free.
They've got one more chance, KRU, to tie things up, get one more round on attack, which is typically the side we look at as being favored on Lotus.
Second's got a showstopper in this round as Bang has to TP away from this pretty standard util combo. Fault Line plus the salvo. Bang is on the C side, not playing passively towards Rubble here, so does mean, of course, there's a paranoia to work with should KRU come knocking. Perhaps not this time.
Yeah, they're just pivoting back through spawn, headed over towards A, but you can see actually that dimensional drift sent towards C, where they've still got Melser inserted, so they have full intention of going back if necessary. They just want to get the rotates over to A right now. That is awesome from Zellsis, able to spam through the wall to get rid of the clone so the wall doesn't get triggered.
And the gate crash also is used ultimately there by Keznit. He's not convinced that A is the play. Looks like Adverso's going to be inserted here, but you kind of want your Taeho where the action's going to be, I imagine. KRU are going to head to B, and Adverso, in theory, would have to join them.
At the moment, it's just Narrate from Sen, playing off of John Cutie's wall, just jiggling towards Heaven. Armageddon will force any players out of those spam angle positions that you could take towards B main, allowing KRU free access to the site.
Sen have a showstopper for this retake. That's a scary position to be in if you're KRU. They knew about this before they hit this B side anyway. Bang's going to fall though. That's Melter finding something over towards Mound here. He won't opt to push up into Waterfall or anything crazy like that, but here's this TP. Okay. Zeknir gets onto the site. Showstopper gets him there. Now it's a matter of Sen holding this real estate. Fires it off, Shy avoids it, and there's Zellsis falling. He tries to take it, swinging, and Mizzino's looking dangerous. 17 health and a dream. He'll take 3, and even the game heading into the half.
KRU are going to be regretting not just going to B over and over. They have won every round that they got the plant down on that site. Really excellent post-plant setups there, and that flash from Shy got mega value. You could see it completely blind up Zekin on entry with a showstopper, as well as 2 other players that were getting in with him.
And also kind of a raw contact retake there from KRU as they make their way back into the B site. They know they've got to clear because of the showstopper. Get out of there. They wait it out. Beautifully done. It's an even game heading into the half. Our first map of Lotus is promising to be a bit of a banger, so don't go too far. Much more to come from this series between Sentinels and KRU Visa.
It's for you. Do you like it? Come on, Charlie. Use your new door. Come on, let's go. I said go. Let's go. Silly dog. I'm going to trade you for a cat. Red Bull gives you wings.
The new Red Bull Zero is here. 100% wings with monk fruit extract.
Pretty lively first half here on Lotus. Sentinels get themselves 6 rounds on the defense side of this map, but curiously 2 of them are huge thrifty rounds that really break the back of KRU as they're trying to get into this game.
They'll definitely be regretting not trying to go for as many of those late round pivots, hitting B where they were finding a lot of that success.
Damn, that's great.
On the run from the Penguin.
That's crazy work. I guess he's a little intimidating. Yeah, again, KRU couldn't help themselves. Like you said, they just wanted to force the issue. Here's the pistol, sent on the attack side now.
And a big trap play set up from KRU. 4 players involved in this.
Well, didn't need much of a trap play, just one person apparently would have been enough to deal with Zellsis. KRU, though, they do get that advantage they're looking for early and can now scale up towards rubble. Keznit having the option to embed himself here and get out with the gate crash later.
They're going to cross the wall, deny some of that passive info for the defenders. Now forced to look at B main and SEN pivot. Wanting to go for this C execute after the Razor Vines have been depleted from Shy.
Okay, will be narrate first. Second also making his way up the C site. It'll be left empty of KRU players, of course. They'll look to try and retake from halls, and Zekken wants to get ahead of this now. Wow, okay, Paranoia also committed to that effect. Zekken going to try and get out here. Here's Util will, of course, spot onto KRU as they look to flood now back onto the site. Sentinel's going to be ready. Bang doesn't really know where to be looking right now. Flash comes in, but Sentinels have been able to set themselves up here at the back of the C site. So we're looking for a no-holds-barred brawl for control of the spike. And we get what we asked for. Mazzino finding his second. There's some sharp shooting, but eventually he'll find his third. It's up to John. And the Moroccan Mastermind cannot hold the tides of KRU at bay. And that's how KRU are looking to start the second half.
What a lovely retake from KRU. I like that SEN were trying to fight for some of that backhall's control. We saw that from Zekken's point of view. You want to get some of that extra space. You want to find a way to actually get a pick onto KRU when they have that man advantage. But they just flood with utility onto SEN. They forced them all back, routed behind the site.
Awkward position for them.
The spike is planted forward. I mean, that was just an excellent usage of the minimal utility you have access to on a pistol round. It all found value.
And a lot of his Sentinels don't have control of Waterfall in that post-plant scenario.
Yeah,
so Bang is looking at halls and then Waterfall and doesn't really know. It ends up pulling back for safety's sake. There's maybe a world where SEN could have benefited from taking some more real estate, but it's hard on that C site regardless. Pistol 1 for KRU. They get ahead. Keznit and Melsa get Bulldogs.
For SEN, straight up 5 classics. Even though they got that plant, they are not going to risk anything. They want the absolute max buy when they get to the gun round.
Okay, pulling up the B side pretty quickly here. You can see Sentinels want to take control of that waterfall route over towards B side. Shield wall going to be thrown up here as well to give them that early warning. So KRU, great flood last round. What can they put together here on a dime?
We have 3 actual guns to get back in on this too. And so much utility from SEN to wade through.
2 players at upper here. Melsa actually forced out. He has to retake this space, but off the Paranoia, he's able to. Keznit fires 1, but Bang could be a problem. Adverso, though, is sharp as attack, folks. Another nice flood from KRU.
You could really see the potential for danger there, as SEN were able to set up in the site really well off of all of the different mollies that they have to just throw onto the ground from John and Zellsis alike. But it's a KRU biding their time and going for that full retake with really tight timings. Everyone getting into all the different areas of the map here. Melsa pushing to Baby Door. At the same time, they take a double fight on Zellsis. Scaling through the smoke together, out Baby Door together. It is really nice, all those timings.
So already a dimensional drift developed here for Keznit on this defense side. On a big map like that, just having that available to you defensively is a huge boon. Especially against a Viper with that lurk wall at 8.
On the bonus round, look at this aggression from KRU.
Hello? Oh, buddy! Okay, Zekken's going to be ready for that. Bang TP'd on out, and Zellsis is waiting for the push-up for Shy. This one has fallen flat from KRU. SEN laid the trap. Oh, buddy, the firing squad is ready to unleash, and Keznit sheepishly gets out of dodge.
Even at that, SEN were ready for the pivot to re-aggress out of B with a high-low setup. John collecting 3 kills. Listen, I'm not going to be mad at KRU ever for trying to do something proactive on your bonus round.
But it's still a fault, I think, from this team. More often than not, Crew tend to look like a bit of a kicked anthill on defense. They're very, very active.
Sometimes they can't help themselves. That's a situation I'm okay with, but yeah, we do have to keep an eye on them to see if they just try to make too much happen. They are a victim often of their own willingness to go for aggressive looks. Push down too far on the extremities.
Yeah, of course, Crew have adopted this Teho look after having a bit more traditional approach and Kickoff. So far, so good. They also set up on Rubble. Pretty standard look here for Crew. Going to be a bit of a fight, though, off the back of this. Zekin wants to take it, and the curtain comes down. And Verso picked up. Zekin, though, a little bit low. Melsa able to get involved and deal with the raise. Narrate still chompy at the bit. He still wants to take a fight here, but is there much to be found? Melsa almost predicting this. Narrate still able to succeed. 3 versus 3 now over on the B side. The dimensional drifting Keznit spots Zellsis out, who opts maybe to change his heading.
Keznit has to find a good timing to retreat there. Didn't actually have the teleport he could go into. And oh, Mazzino on the line. The second Narrate wrapped around that corner of the box.
I mean, Narrate is just convinced there's no one tucked on that box. He's looking at Baby Door there. Okay, here's the Vice util.
Zellsis trying to sell the solo man fake. So John can just work up towards A for free.
It's not called Zellsis for nothing, Wyatt. At least John's been able to get up over towards this A side. And there's that lurk wall to deal with, however. You've got to be ready for this. Mazzino shows a little bit of leg. Zellsis now needs to get towards A, but he's definitely wary of being cut off from that Baby Door angle. And okay, Viper's been thrown down on the A side.
Why not? 2 versus 3 makes it a realistic chance to actually convert this.
Oh, this is a dirty angle too, but John can't play off these. He cannot help Zellsis right now. He's just got to sit inside the pit.
I love this decision from him. He's just playing passive. He just wants to waste the time of Crew, who now have to go and explore this pit entirely.
Is he going to be quick enough? Zellsis is already wrapping around. He's no longer looking to be keeping busy. This is the problem now. He's got to get through 3 players. Mazzino's already gotten this to half. Now Keznit trying to swing this, and Crew will shut it down. Decent idea. Zellsis, though, can't really keep Crew interested enough in here.
I do love how they set that up. Unfortunately, Keznit gets that kill onto John with the run and gun. Couldn't even convert onto him. When you don't have an initiator alive to send in a drone, you send in the human drone, which is what Keznit is right there. But he also finds the kill.
The human drone?
That's what they call it. Good round.
Rolling thunder here for Mazzino, who, can I just say, really, that return to playing initiator on this Crew squad, he's looked very, very good so far in stage 1. And once again,
as defense, they are opting to fight this A side so aggressively.
It's a dangerous proposition against a team like Crew. This is really their bread and butter, Wyatt. These early pops, these fights here, these anchoring crossfires, they love to set up. Then just maybe want to do it on a syncopated timing, but they've lost second there. Keznit audaciously just holding a line already. Poison Orb at least is going to let Sen imply that they've walked out to Rubble, but Crew are not buying it for a second.
They were even ready if Sen tried to refight to just rip that Rolling Thunder on them, but I love this. They take it a little bit slower, get the full re-clear right now with the stealth drone from Adverso, so they know that Sen have no intentions of slowly contacting back up A at the moment. They could be more concerned with elsewhere on the map.
Zellsis patient on this one. John does get his pound of flesh over at the seaside. That's Melsa just asking for a little too much. And now Sen maybe getting away for this. Zellsis, though, was an important anchor for them in that position. He's been compromised. Adverso's able to push up now and eventually wrap over towards this mount area or stay embedded in case there's a bounce back, but there's not much time for that. Rolling Thunder's going to complicate the calculus here for Sentinels. 25 seconds left, 3 players to try and get to this side. The odds are not good. And here comes Adverso, slithering, sneaking his way towards Mount. Likely will catch a whiff of Sentinels here. They've got to go. 13 seconds left, but Adverso strikes from behind. And there's no coming back from that.
It is so comprehensive from Crew. I love that Rolling Thunder timing. There's only 28 seconds left on the clock when that's sent out. Causes that further delay, and even if that, it forces out a piece like the Paranoia from Bang, and then by the time they're trying to get back in, they're being flanked. There's multiple players facing from the front. It's just so well-rounded.
Wyatt, Sentinels use their timeouts to win those thrifties.
What are you doing, bro?
They have no timeouts left, no opportunities for Kaplan to intervene from here on out, and Crew are starting to run away with this map.
now. Meltzer is pushed up over towards Mound. Paranoia can't even force him back. He's just taking the fight, 2 for 2.
Sting is here now, pushing up. Some upgrades available here for Sentinels. They've got to be quick about this. No one there to trigger the Razorvine, so they're going to get onto this C-side unfettered. It's a smoke that blocks Adverso off, and he'll have to wait now at Waterfall. Keznit to wrap through Mound. KRU want to spring this trap pretty quickly, and Keznit gets a freebie. Now wants to keep putting that pressure down. It's going to be Bang, who's wary of him. John falls, and it's up to the lone man. Can Bang do it? Keznit falls quickly. Mazino and Adverso surely going to double swing this, and Bang has to have a sense of it. Can he find some purchase here? The answer is no. It's Adverso. Once again, sending KRU to 11.
The IGL for KRU, returning to the Tier 1 scene after a couple years in Challengers. And you can't ask for 3 better agents in that retake situation than having your Breach, Tejo, and Yoru to come back in on the C site. After that initial 2v2 fight. This KRU team, they are looking electric with this comp after being behind the meta in Kickoff. They're never usually the trend-setting team with the agents that are being run. They are truly the meat and potatoes VALORANT team, good fundamentals, good shooters.
Classic comps, slow to adjust to the meta.
But if they can refine the meta, that's when this KRU team can really take things up a notch. Be one of the top teams that we've got in this Americas scene.
Who needs innovation if you can perfect what already is? That's what KRU are looking for. Here comes Zach and Showstopper, hit immediately by the special delivery. Still, the rest of Sentinels are going to commit to this B side. That Showstopper's about to expire, though. That's a big weapon out of Sentinels' arsenal. But they are swarming over B.
Adverso collects that orb, gets the Armageddon online for the retake, and there's going to be a triple flank fight.
It's got to be here, Zellsis. He has to come alive, and unfortunately, it's much the opposite. Melso able to stack up with many of his other players. Here comes that Armageddon over towards the B site. It's going to force a little bit of movement. John here, though, going to duck back now onto the site itself. It's Melza making his way through. The hit squad of KRU are not missing right now. They are deadly effective. Narrate's able to find just the one here, but it's 3v1. Narrate quiet for much of the game. Keznit rips him a new one. See the light of day through his ears. And KRU get to 12.
These guys are so sharp with the aim right now, and it feels stupid to even say right now, because in terms of firepower, when KRU are on, they are up there with the absolute best in the world. Mazino having a sickening performance. I swear, every time you've seen him get a kill with the Phantom, it has just been lightning fast. The way he's rounding these corners, the reaction time has been so insane. And that is the danger of this KRU squad. It feels like at any moment, any of the players on this team can just go nuclear. We saw it through Kickoff. We saw it with Keznit already last week.
Sen fighting like they're programmed to do so, but Keznit was born and molded by this scenario. He hasn't seen a quiet early round until he was already an adult. And already a 5v3 in this map point. KRU are looking imperious. And the Raid has struggled.
He has been struggling, and this is Sen's map pick at that. It's been a home map for them in 2025. This is the only map that they actually were able to get a win on in Bangkok. And KRU are just looking a cut above.
Sen now have to go for this. That's the sheer wall, of course, that is going to give away their intent. And KRU can take their time. Grouped up now, 3 players, of course, and bear in mind, Steel Guard and Dimensional Drift, it's all on the table here for KRU. They can play with their food a little. Here comes the Drift. This is Keznit.
How many has he had in this game? It seems like every other round.
Yeah, is this initial D with how much he's been drifting? Wild. Okay, here's that Steel Guarded. Now Sentinels without their primary weapons. As much as we like the SEN bundle, that might not be enough to get them over the line here. It's going to be popped by both sides. Zellsis was able to develop his as well. And here's John looking to take a fight towards Halls. A long climb, though, still. KRU advantage. Narrate able to find 2. It's on the table now. Zellsis and John have to make it happen, but Shy shuts it down. Oh, man. What a statement to make. Sentinels map pick of Lotus with Icebox next in the rotation. KRU grinning from ear to ear.
They are firing on all cylinders individually. Feels like top to bottom. Keznit with some of those entries, Mazino in the retakes, and Shy is always going to be good for a couple in the late round. He is the closer for this KRU squad. Their defense was immaculate after giving us question marks on attack, where they were hard forcing some of those sight hits, giving SEN openings to win eco rounds twice, and they're still able to definitively beat them on their map pick. What a showing for KRU.
6 defense rounds for Sentinels. Not too shabby at all, but they use all their timeouts. For the rest of the game, Kaplan is essentially gagged. Note the KRU don't call any timeouts. They don't give Sentinels a chance to talk to their coach or to try and set themselves up. That is just domination.
And it takes me back to that clip of Zekin after being eliminated from Bangkok, where he was talking to the team about not just himself, but the rest of the squad struggling with that adaptability in the moment when your coaches use both of his timeouts at the top of the game while playing against a KRU who haven't played Lotus yet in 2025. You don't know what they're going to be running. Keznit is suddenly the god of Yoru after only playing it for the first time in a match last week.
Oh, buddy, it's crazy out here, but we're going to step away for a moment. Up next, Zoe and the analyst desk are going to break down this wild first map.